Hello and welcome to Motorcycle Mama. I am Deb, and today we're going to talk about motorcycle endorsements in Delaware. What do you need to know? What are your options? And all of that fun stuff. So, Delaware has, as I understand most states do, and please feel free if you're in another state and watching this and you know what that state does, please go ahead and put that in the comments in case somebody else wants that information, might be helpful. But the course in Delaware has three basic parts for the beginning riding course, and that's for our novices, those that are new to riding. First, the segment one is the MSF's basic e-course. You're going to complete that prior to the first class session online on your own. About 2 weeks before the physical class starts, you're going to get an email with a link and a code, and you'll go out and complete that course on your own time. It is about 3 hours in order to get that done. The second part, or segment two of this, is the formal classroom component. So this is done at the DMV or wherever you are having this class at. And this part, you're sitting in a classroom type setting with a group of individuals that are taking this class with you. You're going through a workbook, you're having group discussions about all of the things that have to do with riding. We'll get into a little bit details of that. And that's approximately 5 hours worth of time. And then segment three is the on-cycle component. That is 10 hours of instruction time, and that is actually in the parking lot at the DMV or wherever you're taking this, with a lot of cones and different things that you're doing. And you're going to get to start out with very basics, like walking the bike basically across the parking lot, to by the end of it, you're going through a little course and you're able to do figure eights and all kinds of fun things and stop quickly and everything you need to know in order to ride safely or to start to build those skills. They have training motorcycles that are provided to everybody that's in these classes. These are smaller bikes, they're 500 cc's or less. It was a little bit of a transition for me, even though I had ridden smaller bikes before. I had gotten so used to the bike that I ride primarily now that I kind of struggle with things being a little bit different. It could have been the pouring down rain. We'll get to that later. But anyway, helmets are also available if you don't have your own and maybe you're on the fence of, do I want to do this? Don't I want to do this? And I don't know that I want to make that investment because a good helmet can be a little pricey. So if you want to borrow one, they have them available to borrow. If you have your own, make sure that you bring it. So that classroom instruction part, that's like that 5 hours that you're together in that group, they're going to talk about the challenges of motorcycling. Make sure you understand, what are the dangers and what do you need to know if you're going to make this choice to be a motorcycle rider. And then they're going to talk about motorcycle controls. Make sure that you understand the different parts of your bike. That's important too. Talk about rider and motorcycle preparation. You don't just jump on the bike and go in your shorts and a t-shirt. There's a little bit more to it. You want to check out the motorcycle. You want to make sure your lights work, your brakes work, all of that good stuff, plus some things. Also, you'll look at basic riding skills and street strategies. Where do you want to be? What lane position and when? And how do you know that you are the most visible in certain situations? So we'll talk about all of that. You'll get comfortable with, in this situation, this is where I need to be in the lane and this is what I need to do. And maybe I start to slow down a little bit because I'm not quite sure what this car ahead of me is going to do, and start looking for your pathway or your safe line out of that situation if they do something that they should not be doing or that is not the best choice. I believe, and I don't know if it's the instructor or somebody else in the class when I took the class in 2009, the advice was always assume stupid. If you see that somebody could do something that would not be a good thing for you, assume that that's what they're going to do and have your escape plan in place in your mind so that you are ready if they do indeed do something stupid. So just be safe. You're also going to talk about advanced turning and braking techniques, so you know how to not lock up on your brakes, or that you're both applying front and rear brakes and when to do which thing, and special riding situations, and the dangers of impaired riding. That's very important to know of what your limits are and what is safe for you. So the riding instruction, that is the actual part where you're on the bike and going through the steps. That's going to include straight line riding, turning, shifting, stopping, advanced turning and braking techniques, collision avoidance maneuvers, So that is, you'll have actually an obstacle in the road. You'll know when to go over that obstacle, when to swerve around that obstacle, and you'll get a little bit of practice in that so that when you have something on the road come up, you can handle that. Probably my most interesting thing that I've had to drive directly over top on a road was a snake. And that did not go over well for me, but I managed it. I didn't wreck the bike. The snake did not attack me, and we ended up well. Well, the snake may not have ended up as well because I ran over it. Anyway, successful completion. You're going to complete that MSF e-course that you would have done ahead of time and pass that. That's step one. Then you have to attend all classroom and riding sessions and be on time. They will tell you on the website and in person, like be back at a certain time. Don't push that. Just be back when they tell you to be back. Be there to start in the morning when they tell you to be there to start in the morning. Matter of fact, be there a little bit early just to make sure that you're not late and you don't hit traffic and things don't happen. And then you have to pass both a multiple choice knowledge test and a riding skill evaluation. So all students must have PPE, that's personal protective equipment. I said that I'd talk about that in a little bit. So you have to have a DOT compliant helmet, either a 3/4 or a full face helmet. And again, they do have learner helmets available. If you have a half helmet, you cannot use that. It's got to be 3/4 or full face. They will turn you away if you show up with the wrong thing, or you can get the loaner. Save yourself there. But eye protection, so glasses or goggles if you're not wearing a helmet with a face shield. If you have a helmet with a face shield, then you're okay. No worries about that. Low-heeled over-the-ankle footwear. Leather is preferred. Cloth and canvas are not permitted. Your feet are important. Make sure that you are taking care of them when you're on the bike. Invest in good boots. Long, non-flare pants made of denim or an equivalent or something that's more durable than denim. No sweats, no exposed skin. Again, your skin, your legs, they're important. Long sleeve shirt or jacket. So this does not matter if it is April and freezing out in the rain, or if it is August and 95 degrees. You have to have a long sleeve shirt or jacket, so make sure that you have the appropriate gear so that you are warm enough or can stay cool enough if it is hot out. You also need full-fingered gloves made of sturdy materials, preferably leather. And again, those are mandatory. So I just want to say a little bit about this part because it happened to us. Class happens rain or shine, just be prepared. So when I took the class in April of 2022, again, it was April. A lot of times in April, Delaware is pretty warm. It was not that weekend. It was like in the 50s, plus add cold rain, add being soaked, and you are chilled to the bone. I wish that I had had some hot hands in my car that I could have put into my gloves. I did bring extra gloves, but I went through all of them. All of them ended up just absolutely soaked and drenched. I did bring clothes to change into after the class because, again, I could not have been, my clothes, my boots, everything could not have had more waterlogged than if I had jumped into a pool wearing my boots and my clothes. It was that bad. So be prepared. Make sure you're looking at the weather forecast. And even if it says it's going to be a sunny day, if you have some rain gear, throw it in your car so you have it, and just make sure that you don't get surprised. Same thing if you're going in the summer, make sure you have sunscreen, sunglasses, anything that you need to be safe and prepared. Course benefits. So why do you want to do this? Why am I kind of recommending going through the state? There are other things that you can do. So you can go to, there's some dealerships that offer it. Generally, it's more expensive and it's the same type of course. You get the same result out of it. So, in my opinion, save your money, do this one. But again, you have other options. You can also practice on your own and just go take the road test through your local DMV. My understanding, I've known people that have taken that the first time and passed, and I also know people that have taken it and not passed their first time through. Of course, there's people that go through this course and don't pass either. So just taking this course doesn't mean that you are going to graduate from this course and be able to get your endorsement. I think they say on their website that it's about an 85% success rate, so your odds are pretty good that you're going to get through it. But the reason that I recommend this is it is professional. Introduction to motorcycling with the beginner rider course. So it is geared from that person that has very little knowledge of motorcycle riding, and they're starting out from scratch. And by the time that they are done that 10 hours of instruction actually on the bike, they're getting a little bit more comfortable. Are they going to want to go out and do a 200-mile road trip the next day? Probably not. But if they set small, stepping stone goals for themselves, they can become a good rider. That's basically what I did. I did this course. I came back the next weekend. I said, all right, I'm going to go out on a back road and I'm going to ride for a little bit. And then I added things that were challenging to me. Like, okay, now I'm going to go on a 2-lane road. I had a bridge near me that was a drawbridge, and it had a very open grate kind of thing. So that was one of my challenges when I felt ready, was I'm going to drive over this open grated bridge. And I did. So you just have to set goals for yourself and keep trying, but you'll get there. Anyway, the other course benefit, I went a little off track there, is get your license to ride. You're going to get your endorsement if you pass this class. Course graduates are exempt from that DMV road test, so you don't have to go to the DMV and do the road test. They're going to take them either a piece of paper or they find out electronically. I'm not sure how it's done now because, again, I got mine back in 2009. At that time, it was a piece of paper that I took to the DMV, and they put the M on my endorsement for motorcycle on my license, and I paid a fee to do that. It was very reasonable and well worth every penny. But you don't have to do that road test. And then the other bonus here is you're going to save 10% on your motorcycle liability insurance. It is just the liability part of it, not the collision, but still 10% is 10%. I'll take it. And I think that's good for 3 years. So by the time you pay for the course, I think you're probably at least getting that back, if not more. Plus you're getting other benefits out of taking the course. So it is well worth it. So in Delaware, we are a small state, so if you're listening to this and you're in another state, this could be a little surprising to you. But we have 4 locations, 4 different DMVs where this is offered. In Newcastle County, which is our northernmost county, there is the Delaware City DMV and Greater Wilmington DMV that offer these courses. For this year, it's 8 each. They are available on the website, and I'll take you out there and show you that in just a moment. For Kent County, which is in the middle, it's Dover DMV. I took my class there in 2009 at Dover, and nice facility, worked out very well. And then the southernmost is Sussex County, and this is where I took the class in April of 2002. And that was a very nice facility as well, though I'm sure the parking lot would have been a lot nicer if it didn't have 2 inches of water on it the entire time. But that was not any fault of the DMV, so can't blame them for that at all. But any of those are options. Oh, both the Dover and the Georgetown ones had 16 instances of the class available for 2003. So this is the registration form. There's going to be a link underneath this video that takes you to this form. You're going a little bit old school. You're going to download this form, complete it, and then you're actually going to mail it in to the DMV at the address that's on the bottom. So if you notice on here, for the novice course for in-state, it's $50. Again, that's a bargain for everything that you're getting and the time that these instructors are investing in all of us during that course. If you are out of state, it's $200, probably still less expensive than you're going to find at most dealerships, but check around. There is a disclaimer on the website that says that Delaware cannot promise that other states are going to accept this. So check with your state, read the fine print, make sure that, it is that you're going to get what you want out of this. Then you have to do a first, second, or third choice, put the course number and date. I have been lucky. The 2 times that I've taken this class, I've gotten my first choice each time. So I felt very fortunate with that. Then it's going to ask you a bunch of questions. It's the DMV. They already know this information, so I don't get hung up on providing it. And my favorite question of all is kind of towards the bottom here. Do you know how to ride a bicycle? Yes or no? I thought the first time I saw that was a little bit of an odd question. I actually asked back in 2009, why do they ask that? And apparently it's a thing. Apparently if somebody has an issue riding a bicycle, chances are they're going to have an issue riding a motorcycle. And I don't know if they're accepted in the class, not accepted in the class based on how they answer that, but I found that interesting and thought I'd share that. So basically you're going to download, complete, and mail the form with a check payable to the Division of Motor Vehicles to the address that's on the form here. And again, there's going to be a link underneath the video. And now we are going to go out. I want to actually show you a little bit about the website, and then we'll come back. All right. We are at the Delaware.gov website. Again, I'll put this URL down in the links, but it's basically services.dmv.de.gov and then a whole bunch of other stuff ending in motorcycle. So this is the beginner riding course. So it has everything that I just had in the slides you're going to read here, plus a little bit more. So definitely check it out, read through, make sure you're knowledgeable about what you're getting yourself into here. And if I come down, there's some things about residency into the schedule. I'm just going to show you Dover because that's right mid-state. Notice it has 8, 8, 16, and 16. That's what I was talking about, the instances. So if I click on Dover DMV, I'm going to see that these dates are full. And there's still 4 slots left for Saturday, October 7th as we go into the fall. And further into the fall, the classes run through November, and there are still available times there. I'm just going to go back. And I will show you the registration form. You just click right there. And here's that registration form that we saw. So very easy to navigate through, and you shouldn't have any trouble at all. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please click the subscribe button. Hopefully you got some good information out of this. If you got something that's helpful, make sure you click the like as well, and definitely that subscribe. Anyway, this is Motorcycle Mama, keeping life shiny side up. Thanks again.